Let's take minutes to review again our noun declensions. On page 2-4 in your grammar, on the bottom of the page you'll notice first declension noun endings. We've already taken a look at these before, but I want to review some things with you today. On page 2-5, the upper paradigm shows the second declension noun endings, and the bottom of the page shows the third declension noun endings. Now, if you'll look at page 2-6, we see the first declension noun forms in detailed paradigms. Likewise, on page 2-7. On page 2-8, we see second declension noun paradigms, and also on page 2-9. Now, referring to these paradigms, this is what I would like for you to do. Notice how I have written out certain forms of various words with the article in front of the noun. For example, ho logos. And what I would like for you to do is to parse that, and to parse it from memory. So what you could do is you could make up a pack of these and Xerox them and practice them over and over and over again. And then if you'll just flip over to the back, there you'll see the answer. Masculine, singular, nominative. Let's look at the second one. To logo. Look at the omega with the iota subscript. Okay, turn the page over, and there's the answer. Masculine, singular, dative. These are just like flashcards is what they are, but let's go through all of the ones that we have here. Tous logos. Now you see if you can answer before I turn the page. Tous logos. Okay, the answer is masculine, plural, accusative. Ton logon. Got the answer? You see that omega nu on the end there. Masculine, plural, genitive. Tu logu. Okay, the answer is masculine, singular, genitive. Tois logos. And the answer is masculine, plural, dative. Again, how do we know that this word is masculine, this word logos? Because you've looked it up in a dictionary, or you have begun to memorize certain vocabulary words. And as you memorize nouns, remember, you memorize the gender of the noun. Ton logon. Okay, let's see if you're right. Masculine, singular, accusative. Good. Let's look at the next one. Hoi logoi. See what our answer is. Masculine, plural, nominative. Good. How did you do with those? Let's now look at a feminine noun. How do I know that this word hodos is a feminine noun? Well, for one thing, we have a feminine definite article in front of it, or you'd look it up in a dictionary, wouldn't you? Or you would remember it as part of your vocabulary that it is a feminine noun. So let's do the same exercise with this word. He hodos. How would you parse that? Feminine, singular, nominative. Now notice something now. This word hodos is following second declension endings, but the definite article when it is feminine follows first declension noun endings. So they're not going to be spelled the same way, but they certainly will agree, won't they, in gender, number, and case. Well, let's see if our answer is correct. Feminine, singular, nominative. Right. Look at the second one. A hodo. All right. Feminine, singular, dative. Did you get that one? Okay, the next one. Tas hodous. Feminine, plural, accusative. There we go. Feminine, plural, accusative. Look at the next one. Ton hodon. Every time you see that omega nu on the end of the noun, you know you have a plural genitive, right? And we know that this word is a feminine word. So our parsing, feminine, plural, genitive. Very good. The next one, tes hodu. Okay. Feminine, singular, genitive. Feminine, singular, genitive. Look at the next one. Tais hodois. Notice that in the first declension you have an alpha vowel here, plural dative. In the second declension you have an omicron vowel. These two are parsed the same. Feminine, plural, dative. There it is. Feminine, plural, dative. Okay, the next one. Tain hodon. What do you think? Okay. Feminine, singular, accusative. Good. And the next one. Hai hodoi. Feminine, plural, nominative, right? Feminine, plural, nominative. All right. Let's take a look at another group. He hemera. Now the word hemera belongs to which declension? The first or the second? That's right, it belongs to the first declension, and we call it an alpha type since the last vowel is an alpha. If that last vowel had been an eta, we would call it an eta type. The definite article is an eta type, first declension word. He hemera would be parsed. You try it now. Okay, and let's see if you're correct. Feminine, singular, nominative. Good. The next one. Te hemera. Notice the iota subscript underneath the last vowel. That's your big clue for what case? For the singular dative, right? So this would be parsed feminine, singular, dative. The next one, tas hemeras. Now, if we didn't have the definite article there, hemera actually could be parsed two different ways. Why don't you refer to your paradigm in section 2 and see if you can find the two different ways that this word could be parsed. It could be parsed feminine singular genitive, or it could be parsed feminine plural accusative. But here we've got a definite article of it. And that definite article is parsed how? Feminine plural accusative, so then that must be the parsing of this noun as well, right? Feminine, plural, accusative. And let's see if we're correct. Yeah, feminine, plural, accusative. Oh, here's a familiar one again. You see the omega nu on the end of the noun, plural genitive. So, ton hemeron, feminine, plural genitive. There it is, feminine, plural genitive. Now let's take a look at the next one. And I would like to compare this next one with one we just saw. You see how both of these words are spelled the hemeras? But there's a different definite article in front of each one, isn't there? How do you parse the definite article tes? Feminine, singular, genitive, right? So that must mean this word hemeras is feminine, singular, genitive. But with the definite article tas, then this word hemeras would be plural accusative. See the difference in those two? And how would you know whether you were dealing with a singular genitive word or a plural accusative word? What have we been saying so far? Context, right? Context is everything. Look at the second example on this page. Tais hemes. What do you think? Okay. Feminine, plural, dative. Feminine, plural, dative. And our last example, tain hemeron. Feminine, right? Singular, accusative, and singular accusative. The very last one, hai hemerai. Now, I made a mistake, didn't I, on that word hai. What is left off? What did I forget? I left off the breathing mark. And would it be a smooth breathing mark or a rough breathing mark? Okay, it would be rough. Now, since this is a thong, over which vowel would I place that breathing mark? That's right, over the second vowel. So it would look like this. There. Hai hemerai. And this would be parsed feminine, plural, nominative. Now, my suggestion to you is you yourself compose as many of these kinds of flashcards as you can, with the Greek on one side and the answer on the other side, and just keep practicing over and over and over again until you have learned your various noun endings. There's something else that I want you to do. You'll look in the second part of your grammar, in section 10. Here are the exercises. Exercise 1 we've already talked about, dealing with the definite article, parsing all of those different forms. And there's an answer sheet. Exercise 2 deals with the personal pronouns. And you should have already done this exercise. And if you'll just keep doing it over and over again, you will memorize the various personal pronouns. There's an answer sheet. Now let's look at exercise 3. Exercise 3 is going to ask you in part A to parse various forms of the definite article. And then the B part of this exercise is going to ask you to parse each one of these nouns. And you'll see that there is a definite article in front of the noun. Look at number 6, for example. Tu prophetu. That could be either masculine or neuter in form. So how are you going to discover that it is really masculine and not neuter? Well, look the word up in a dictionary. and see what the gender of the noun is. And that exercise continues on the next page. C part of this exercise will also ask you to parse various nouns, and there will be a definite article in front of the nouns. And a number of these nouns are third declension. And again, even though we have not discussed third declension endings, use the definite article in front of the noun to help you to parse the noun. There may be a question as to gender. For example, look at number 3, to hudati. You may not know whether that is masculine or neuter, because that definite article, to, could be either masculine or neuter. So in parentheses, I am telling you that the gender is neuter by giving you the definite article, saying that this word is parsed neuter. Then you could finish parsing it, couldn't you? Because you can parse the definite article to, neuter, singular, dative. In D part of this exercise, you'll be asked to parse certain personal pronouns. And after you've already done exercise 2, this shouldn't be that difficult. In part E, by analogy with the definite article, I want you to parse the personal pronouns. Now, the personal pronouns will be found on page 2-19 in your grammar. So if you have any trying to parse these relative, I said personal, didn't I? I meant relative pronouns. If you have any trouble parsing these relative pronouns, please refer to page 2-19. There you will find a paradigm of the relative pronouns. And then there's an answer sheet for exercise 3.